whoa. Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out why London had a hidden extra underground line just for the mail.
Hello, and alright everyone. It's September 2021 and I'm in London. And I've come here to travel on an underground line. But not just any underground line. This is a line that many Londoners have never seen and don't even know exists. Because for 76 years, underneath the street right here, there...
What do those words say? Unless you're the kind of Londoner who watches my videos. In which case you've probably known about it for ages. Y'all, this is the Tim Traveler. Be sure to go to the Tim Traveler and like and subscribe. He's a nice guy. We connected on Instagram. Go to Instagram, give him a follow, maybe give me a follow, maybe give me a like and subscribe. I don't know. If you don't, that's fine too. Maybe buy a mug. If you don't, that's fine too. We're just here to have a good time, right? Just relax and let's learn about mail.
Exists. Because for 76 years, underneath the street right here, there was a private underground railway that never appeared on the tube map. It had its own trains, its own tunnels, and its own stations, but you could only travel on it if you were a mailbag. And although the line closed down in 2003, a few years ago a small section was reopened as part of a new museum, opening it to the public for the first time.
Okay. So yeah, I think I heard of this in some other video where they briefly mentioned this museum. I'm curious to know if this is a full-size train. It looks kind of small. Maybe children could use it for their commute.
So I've invited my friend Amy, who was already in town today for a Hidden London tour and didn't need much convincing, and we're going to take a ride on it.
You're going to be here in about 10 to 15 minutes.
Nice one.
You can ride
Welcome to Mail Rail, also known as the Post Office Railway.
It's so small. That's what she said. Okay. For a second I thought I got it wrong. I thought, it's the Time Traveler. No, it's the Tim Traveler. Now I get it. And I was wondering why it's not Tim the Traveler. Welcome to Mail Rail. Okay, sorry to stop it. I love that there's a clear roof that makes it feel less enclosed.
Is the Mail Rail train, or at least it's one of the new ones that's been built to carry passengers for the museum. But because the system was designed for mailbags and not people, space is going to be tight.
Yeah, it looks like one of those trains at the mall.
So our first task is to store any bags we're carrying in the lockers provided.
Oh,
And doing things at the same
that's smart.
I believe I could have helped.
With that done, our second task is to try and get the front seats on the train.
You better close that door, Tim. Your satchel's gonna get lifted. No. We'll see if he comes back and his bag is still there.
Second task is to try and get the front seats on the train without me creating an awkward social situation.
Try and sit together here, and if it's a bit too much of a squeeze, I can get you guys to sit at the front instead.
Is it alright if we go to the front?
Yeah, if you decide to go at the front. Thank you.
Okay, I thought we were about to see a fight, but he was very polite and it worked.
Yes. Now thinks that you're just like your girlfriend's really fat. Rather than you've just...
Wait, what does it say at the moment? Amy is 1, not fat, 2, happily married.
Rather than you've just offered us the possibility of going at the front of the train.
Obviously we're going to go at the front of the train.
Yeah.
Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad, is it? And I did check that there weren't any kids waiting behind us who would have really wanted to sit at the front.
Don't worry about those kids. This is a tangent, y'all, but is Amy short for something? Is that like a British name? Amanda, Amelia, or Amber? Okay.
So, as we set off into the tunnel, we have got ourselves some nice first row seats with a particularly good view of the back of the driver's head.
Hello,
Speed it up.
welcome to Mail Rail. You're about to explore some of London's hidden underground postal railway.
I like that there are breathing holes in the glass. Gotta get that oxygen going. And a little nitrogen.
The route that the museum takes you on is a round trip starting from what used to be the maintenance depot, down into the platform of an abandoned station, around a loop at the far end, back through the other platform of the station, and finally returning to where you started in the depot. And as we enter the station, we pass by one of the old mail trains that was left behind when the line shut down 18 years ago. So why did London build an underground line just for the mail?
Those original trains don't look as nice. I guess if people aren't going to ride on it, who cares, right?
Well, the station is called Mount Pleasant, and directly above us here is the Royal Mail's enormous London Central Mail Centre.
Show me. London Central Mail Centre. London Central Mail Centre. Mount Pleasant. Where is it exactly? Oh, it's very close to the center. It's in the center ring. Whatever you call that. Perimeter. Mail rail. That's it, y'all. We found it. Mail rail. Oh, okay. The good restaurants around. Quite a few. Lucin Lamoni, Solus Restaurant and Bar, Machin Kitchen, Sri Lankan Restaurant, Caravan Exmouth Market Restaurant.
Mail's enormous London Central Mail Centre. And yes, Central, that really is Centre, what it's called. At the beginning of the 1900s, this had become one of the busiest sorting offices in the world. And that began to cause issues. The problem was that mail arriving by train at Paddington in the west of London or Liverpool Street in the east had to come to the sorting office by road. And even in 1911, London already had serious traffic congestion.
Oh, yeah.
This led to major
what a
delays
pain.
delivering the mail. And this was the days before emails or even widespread use of telephones. The mail was important. A report came out concluding that London's traffic speeds would never surpass 10 kilometres an hour, while an underground train could do more than 50. This convinced Parliament to approve plans to build a railway.
How fast is that in miles per hour? For my ignorant American brain, first of all, let's do 10. That would be 6 miles per hour. That's slow, y'all. I can walk faster than that. About 50. 31 miles per hour. I can't walk that fast.
The proposed line was 10 kilometres long and connected the two railway stations, the administrative headquarters at King Edward Street, the main sorting office here, and a string of smaller sorting offices, for
So it's 6 miles long, right?
a total of 8 stations between Paddington and Whitechapel.
Okay.
The route ran more or less parallel to what was then the Central London Railway, or what we now know as the Central Line, with a small detour for Mount Pleasant. And bonus fact, back then the Central actually had a station called Post Office at King Edward Street, but that was later renamed and became St Paul's. The project went ahead in
Is it near St. Paul's Cathedral? St. Paul's Cathedral. It's very close. My nose, y'all. All right. It's very close to St. Paul's, to answer my question. Continue, please. Y'all, the project went ahead in 1915. That's a long time ago.
1915, and construction was almost immediately hit by delays, not least because it was the middle of the First World War. But the system eventually opened on the 3rd of December 1927, just in time for the Christmas post. The railway was fully electric and fully automated. The trains had no drivers. Everything was controlled centrally by operators using a switchboard. They were basically playing with a giant train set, although in later years this job was done by computers. And for 3/4 of a century, these weird little trains scuttled underneath London with no one on board, quietly getting on with the job of delivering the mail.
I'm curious to know how they did that without computers. There must have been electric sensors so they know where the trains are? Maybe he'll tell us more about that. I mean, that seems like a technological feat in itself, right?
A small army of battery-powered locomotives was on hand as backup in case of failures or faults.
Batteries.
The drivers of these vehicles were among the very few people who ever got the chance to ride on the railway during its operation.
Okay, so in times when it would go down, they did have people on the trains, I guess.
I'm kind of jealous, but as Amy helpfully demonstrates here, those cabs were not exactly luxury accommodation.
Was it everything you dreamed of?
The line changed relatively little over the years, although it gained one extra station in the 1960s after the Western Delivery Office moved from Wimpole Street to Rathbone Place,
Wimpole Street, yes? Oh, okay. It's further west to Rathbone Place. Rathbone Place. A little bit further east. Okay. Okay. Oh, the British Museum. Dope, y'all. Okay. I got my bearings.
Delivery office moved from Wimpole Street to Rathbone Place, requiring a small diversion from the original route. But I think this was the last time the Royal Mail opened a new sorting office in central London. By the 1980s, economic pressures caused the pattern to reverse. And that was bad news for the railway.
What do you mean?
Offices started to relocate further out, to suburbs like Willesden and Bromley by Bow, and one by one, the central London locations were sold off for redevelopment.
Okay. So the land became more valuable, and it seemed like a waste to have this gigantic building just to sort mail, apparently. Okay, that makes sense. And the 80s, that was during Thatcherism, right?
And one by one, the stations that came with them closed down too. When Whitechapel closed in March 2003, it left only 3 stations still open.
Whitechapel, show me your motherfucker. Whitechapel. Why does that sound familiar? It must be a general area because vibrant multicultural district in the East End with many traditional pubs and curry houses. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, there's Whitechapel. Okay. Now I know. London's fascinating, y'all. It's like a clean New York.
And with the system now running at about a third of its original capacity, Mail Rail was simply no longer economically viable. 2 months later, on the 30th of May, the last train delivered the last parcels, the electricity was switched off, the workers went to the pub, and that was that.
They're still at the pub, y'all. 22 years of pints. They've all survived. Way to go, guys and girls.
Or was it?
Oh.
Because the Post Office Railway was never completely abandoned. It was more...
Look at this office space.
Because the...
Wow. Okay, there's a satellite phone. Oh my god.
Post Office Railway was never completely abandoned. It was more what they call mothboard. The Royal Mail was aware of the unique piece of industrial heritage that they had on their hands, and the potentially lucrative possibility of reopening it as a museum one day.
Okay.
So they kept a few employees down here over the years to perform a minimal level of maintenance and ensure that the tunnels remained safe and secure.
What a job that must be. Hey, we got these abandoned train tunnels. Just go down there and hang out. Make sure it doesn't crumble. That might be fun. Watch some TV. Watch some YouTube videos. Watch some YouTube videos while you're down there in the tunnels. What do you think of that? Just you and me. Down there. Sorry, that's getting creepy.
And although only the small section at Mount Pleasant has been returned to working order for the museum, the whole system is still here.
Use it.
The tracks still run all the way to Paddington in one direction and Whitechapel in the other.
Hey, what do dogs do for commutes? That's the perfect size for a dog drain. I feel like dogs need to get places sometimes. Right?
So if you've got a few million in the bank and you fancy your own private underground line...
No cats.
Why not send them a letter? If you'd like to ride the Post Office Railway and you're not a multimillionaire, an adult ticket costs £16 in advance online, and there are reductions for children and disabled visitors. Your ticket includes 1 round trip on Mail Rail, plus a year of unlimited access to the Postal Museum across the road. Accessibility on Mail Rail itself is unfortunately limited. You'll need to be able to lower yourself into the train, and in case of an evacuation, get out of the tunnel. Alternatively...
Oh my god. I didn't think of that, y'all.
Able to lower yourself into the train, and in case...
If you're stuck in there and the power goes out, the lights go off. Okay, actually it wouldn't be that bad, I don't think. Because it's not that long. Like, okay. I had a little nightmare trigger there, but that's not...
In case of an evacuation, get out of the tunnel. Okay. Alternatively, a virtual version of the ride is available. And as always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon.
Y'all be sure to go to the Tim Traveler and like and subscribe. There's a simulation of it? That's interesting. It's not like flying a jet plane. I guess you gotta train. Like they want to be safe. You gotta train to drive the train. Mail Train Simulator. What an exciting game that must be. Oh, they do have train simulators. What? Rail system.
1980s under
What now?
audio-wise outside is the same as AP.
Okay. Wow. It's like a video game. Rail Theft Auto. I don't know. Would that be fun? Stealing trains? You can kind of do that in Grand Theft Auto. I think you can do that in Red Dead Redemption too, but I've never played it. This is interesting, y'all. Have any of y'all ridden this? Ridden this? Rided this? Have you maybe ridden this? Rode this? That's what she's. Anyway, y'all, be sure to go to the Tim Traveler and like and subscribe, and maybe give me a like and subscribe if you made it this far in the video. I'd like to thank my patrons. I'd like to thank my Buy Me a Coffee folks. Thank y'all for watching this with me. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Later.